Passenger. I was admitted. I had to answer questions. Are you gay? Are you a terrorist? Are you a communist? I answered no to all the questions. After a while, I started noticing that the questions had changed. What do insects have to do with cinema? Can you hear me? Are we underwater? Can I kick you in the face? Why do your spasms look infantile? Do you know how to break a radio? But I kept answering no, because that's what I wanted to hear myself say with that bag over my head. This is another character. She's the girlfriend. And in this particular episode, her outfit is, her body is covered with severe burns. The passenger's nervous system can be divided into a brain and the ventral nerve cord. The head capsule has 6 pairs of ganglia. The first 3 pairs are fused into the brain, while the 3 following pairs are fused into a structure called a subesophageal ganglion. The head capsule is also called the plague. He wears a bird mask to keep the ganglia from getting infected. The subesophageal ganglion is the part that gets most infected. It looks like a black shell and it excretes a liquid. He has promised me the black shell and several other parts, the sound organ and the devour organ. One of the main characters is the president, which is a different president from the one we have now. Really, he's supposed to be played by Ronald Reagan, but then I found out Reagan was dead, so this will never actually be performed correctly, but So this is what the president says. Me and my cutting disorders. I live inside this window with a gun even though I need sharper objects. I could use pneumonia. My voice has a sing-song quality on the loudspeaker. Dear students, please return the wedding dress to the rabble. Return your voice lessons. Cars are burning as we speak. Immigrants can't undo their stitches. Help them crawl out. Show them how to sing. Like this, with the body colored in, colored out, heart attack. This is another thing that the passenger says, and this time he actually has a hood over his head, so you can't really, you're not really supposed to hear it, but I will spare you that. Because in the real version I would be having a fancy outfit with electrical wires and stuff. If there's one thing I've learned from the other refugees in the erotic ward, it is how to perform operations on the ganglia and ovules of certain exotic flowers. Most of the operations involve cinema. We sit there, shuddering in the dark, watching balloon-like images of the native bodies. The officials have even started to call our room the balloon room. We call it the rancid room on account of the stench. This is what Father Insect says, and he's supposed to be stuttering and twitching, but I'm not an actor, so I can't really do it. It's supposed to be kind of like that. The natives are marauders. They conduct their parties with haste. They are promiscuous with pistols. That's what the colonel tells my daughter while listening to a promoter. The promoter has an oink-oink heart and a scorpion disease. Nobody knows that the cancer ward is closed, that I'm surrounded by snakes. Daughter, I'm surrounded by snakes. This is what Mother Empire says. And she's speaking from a balcony, and her hair is bleached, and she has a fashionable dress crawling with ants. Smallpox is raging among both natives and Turks. The colonel is worse yet. He is evidently a master singer. Waiting is awful in such a crowded operation. That is what my daughter tells me about the colonel's song while I'm taking photographs of rabid animals. The natives take these to be representations of erotic deities and leave the mimosa tree on which they are feeding. The colonel has a goodly supply of heavy rifles. Among them is the Child, which carries a half-a-pound explosive shell. He digs a watch hole near a cornfield. Into this they creep. The natives. The glamorous bodies are so alive with swarms they have to be rinsed with unique ointments. This voice continues for several seconds. There are no more spiral wounds on my lower body. Drubble, drubble, give me the headphones. I want to hear a cheering nation. This is what Father Voiceover says, and his garb is inspired by the clothes of inmates. His voice is inspired by insects. The new torture operations are largely aesthetic. They involve shells, a pretty new torso, and my eyes are smeared in a mascara made from fish scales. It is an acrid secretion. The riots are exhibited, but we are not near the revolver. Turn on the subtitles. The natives have small mouths and full but not thick lips. The riots have been stripped of artifice. I give the visitors a treacherous surface that is colored red. The natives are as comely as they are savage. They have high foreheads, large lips, and high cheekbones. The colonel is full of duplicity and rapacity. An eel-like species is the only thing that matters to him right now. I have sunstrokes. Mother is surrounded by 3,000 troops. A lot of the language I stole from like 19th century textbooks. I sometimes had trouble pronouncing the words. This is what the looted model says when she speaks out against symbolism. I remain fashionably colonial, like the taxidermy daughter. That's a pop song. I've rigged a woman's glamour body. I have a fluid cinema and a cabinet where I keep shells. My eyes are not spit upon, but they open slowly like a landscape painting, and all my gauzes are lamb. There's also a character named Miss World, who is somebody I met in South Bend, Indiana, when I was out walking with my daughter. It was like a 4-year-old boy who was naked, and he was just walking around. He was being really weird, and I asked him where he where his parents were, and he didn't know. And so I didn't know what to do, but another car pulled up, and all these people got him, and cops came and stuff. And so we were just, but Sinead and I were just shocked by the incident. And so I made him into a kind of hero of this play as a sort of spell to keep him safe, because I think maybe he would need it. And strangely, his name in this is Miss World, which I guess is a Courtney Love song from the 90s that popped into my head. This is Miss World, this is what he says. I've had a shrapnel wound since I was 17 years old. A photographer forgot to cut his eye out after he saw my sign language. I made the sign for paranoia. The miscarriage was my dance-out craze. Nobody understands the American dream like I understand assaults and blossoms surrounding China. I was harmed, hammered. The pig was me. Now I pilfer garbled spectators and rehearse meet aura cinema. In the final scene I am groaning and complete like a retina. The flatbed is decorated with rosy hues, and my nudity is decorated with $47 billion of contaminated blankets. I'm Miss World, and I'm more dissected than fetal.